This video is titled Memphis First Independent Theatrical Filmmaker Fights in the Memphis for Black History Film Inclusion. The father of Black history, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, wrote, "Those who have no record of what their forebears have accomplished lose the inspiration which comes from the teachings of biography and history. If it was not for modern technology, white and black people in Memphis could get away with white supremacy, racism, and black on black racism." Just Google Anthony Elmore, LA Times, and this is what comes up in a headline. And it reads, quote, "Films going into production, The Contemporary Gladiator, November 22nd, 1987 at 12 a.m. Pacific time." You see, it goes on further. The Contemporary Gladiator, shooting in Memphis, Anthony Elmore stars, direct, and produce a comedy drama about his ascent to the pinnacles of the kickboxing world. Also stars George Young, Miriam Jones, and Julius Dorsey. Spring release, unquote. You see, in 1987, it was a national news story for anyone in America who was producing a 35 millimeter film. This is in 1987. You see, only major film studios would produce the 35 millimeter theatrical film, but right here in Memphis, Tennessee in 1987, we was the first to write, produce, direct, star. We even scored the movie right here in this living room. We starred in Memphis' first independent theatrical film titled The Contemporary Gladiator that premiered in Memphis in July of 1988. You see, in 1987, this was a big thing that happened. Now, you see, this would happen even though it was a big story, even though it was a national story, even though what was even so unique about us, that in 1987, right here in this house in Orange Mound, we brought in a black film crew from Chicago. And the scenes you see, this is a scene that was shot in this backyard in 1987. We shot most of the film right here in Orange Mound in 1987 with the black film crew, which this was national news. However, you see, Lynn Sittler in 1987 had just been appointed the Memphis Shelby County Film, and at the time, Tape Commission. Whereas, you see, unknown and untold to us, Lynn Sittler could not stomach the fact that Memphis' first independent theatrical film that was shot in Memphis, that was being shot in Orange Mound, a black movie starring a black film crew with a black production right here in Orange Mound, Lynn Sittler used her function and authority as the Shelby County Film Commissioner to obscure and to hide our black history. If it was not for the LA Times, this story would remain obscure. However, the LA Times told the story. You see, it was her goal to erase black history, but to make herself known. You see, earlier we said, if it was not for technology, Memphis white and black people in Memphis could get away with white supremacy, racism, and black on racism. Just Google the words, The Contemporary Gladiator, and it comes up with us in a 1988 film. Now, Google the words Mystery Train. It clearly comes up as a 1989 film. In fact, the release date of Mystery Train was not until November of 1989. You see, please look up Historical Marker Database or the hmdb.org and also the Tennessee Historical Markers. You see, we at Black Orange Mound in Memphis produced the first independent theatrical film in Memphis film history. However, Lynn Sittler, along with the Shelby County Historical Commission in 2007, put up a historical marker they put a historical marker at the corner of G.E. Patterson and Main Street that racially discriminates and ignores the fact that the first film that was in Memphis film history was our black movie that started in Orange Mound, but Lynn Sittler could not stomach the fact that Memphis' first independent feature film was shot here in Orange Mound. So what she did, along with the Shelby County Historical Commission, is that at the corner of G.E. Patterson and Main Street, they put up a historical marker that named Mystery Train that did not come out until 1 year later. The white film Mystery Train that was directed by Jim Jarmusch, they put that as Memphis' first independent film and the start of Memphis movie making history. However, we were the first, but Lynn Sittler used her function and authority and her racism and her discrimination to be able to make a white film first and to obscure black film history. Now, this video is titled Memphis Independent Theatrical Filmmaker Fights Indie Memphis for Black History Film Inclusion. You see, from October the 24th to the 29th, Indie Memphis hosts its annual Indie Memphis Film Festival. Over a decade before that was in Indie Memphis, we were Memphis' first independent theatrical filmmaker. In fact, we are the father, or I am the father of independent filmmaking in Memphis. Now, Memphis' first independent theatrical film at Indie Memphis Film Festival. Now, you see, we were never invited as part of the Indie Memphis Film Festival until this year. However, they invited us with the caveat. And the caveat is, they made sure that it was not known and it was untold that Memphis' first independent theatrical film history was not told at the Indie Memphis Film Festival. Nowhere, even though we're invited to come to the film festival, even though they were there to show, they had allowed us to show our movie, but nowhere is it published, nowhere is it in writing, nowhere that the Indie Memphis, Miriam Bell, for example, she's the art director. She, for 3.5 years, we asked her to cover our story. Now, and on April the 23rd, 2023, we produced a video. And the video is titled Orange Mound, Black Memphis Hollywood Seeks Indie Memphis Joint Effort of Cultural Diplomacy. We asked Indie Memphis newly appointed Executive Director Camille Fryer to stop Indie Memphis' past practices of white supremacy, racism, and black-on-black racism via their ignoring the fact that Memphis independent film history started in Black Orange Mound in 1987, whereas we have a news release from the LA Times that proved when we started, but despite the fact of this history, our story is not told. For example, just Google Orange Mound versus Indie Memphis, and a national release comes up that reads, quote, "How Memphis film culture robs historic black community of dignity, of film, honor, prestige. You see, a sentence in the news release reads, quote, Inde Memphis has been the model of white supremacy and now black-on-black racism, whereas they use their platform to deny black Memphis film history and deny black Orange Mound out of its rightful place as the birthplace of Memphis independent feature filmmaking. See, Inde Memphis never invited me or invited us to come to a film festival until this year in 2023. However, they never even mentioned the fact, or they refused to acknowledge the fact, that even though they're going to show our movie, to say, and the reason we're invited, they didn't want us to say or continue to say how racist they were, but they invited us, and they were not expecting us to just simply be in your film festival, but not even insist to be acknowledged as Memphis' first independent feature filmmaker. So on the October the 11th, I wrote a letter, and a formal letter withdrawing from the film festival because it is a matter of racism, white supremacy, and now black-on-black racism, whereas you have a black art director by the name of Nichiren Bell, and you have a black executive director by the name of Camille Fryer, and you have these black women who could do something, but who refuse to, they run a film festival. Dr. Martin Luther King said, silence is betrayal. And the fact that Inde Memphis is silent about black Memphis film history is a betrayal to black, not only black Memphis, it's a betrayal to black America. See, the issue is not just Inde Memphis. I personally appeal to the black Shelby County commissioners, Brittany Thornton, Erica Sugarman, and Henry Brooks, who has actually been assisting us. You see, Tennessee State Representative Jay Hardaway, who represents Orange Mound, and Ramesh Akbari, they both appealed for $18 million for the failed NBC drama Bluff City Law. However, they were able to get Lynn Settler $3 million for the failed NBC Bluff City Law, where the city of Memphis gave corporate welfare, where they gave $5 million for the failed NBC Bluff City Law. Now, what we're asking State Representative Jay Hardaway and Tennessee State Senator Ramesh Akbari, since they put so much money behind the failed NBC Bluff City Law, we're just asking these legislators to go to the Tennessee Historical Commission and rightfully put up a historical marker in Orange Mound, naming Orange Mound the birthplace of independent feature filmmaking in Memphis. In fact, we're asking the Shelby County commissioners to go to the Shelby County Historical Commission and rightfully put up a historical marker in Orange Mound. The mayors and the new mayor to come in and rightfully honor Orange Mound and our black Memphis film history. I am Anthony Elmore, Memphis' first 35mm theatrical independent filmmaker. Thank you very much.